I get it started. Yeah, go ahead. Tell you what, you give me the high sign when it's ready. If ever you have, if you need a little delay. All right, we've started the recording. Just want to let you know that this is all being recorded from here on. I'm not calling us to order yet.
Yeah.
Go find Tim. We need him.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome to talk amongst yourselves. Just be aware that the microphones are sensitive and they'll hear what you're saying and record them.
Already.
All right, and there are people like.
I'm just saying.
In the way.
I haven't been incriminating quite yet.
All right.
Just
Are-
be careful what swear words you use.
Yeah,
Right.
Best do any crimes.
Robert?
Yes.
Okay. Begley's. Are you Gordon Begley?
No, I'm being Harry.
Mr. Begley here?
I'm with Nick Burke and we're representing Gordon Bagley.
Yeah, Mr. Bagley's not gonna be here tonight.
Okay.
And doesn't love us?
We're giving Rob another few minutes to try to contact Mr. Lennon to see if he's going to be able to attend because our two other board members cannot. And we're going to need him.
Who's that? Madeline, Tim can't be.
Tim-
Madeline can't be here and we think Tim is, but I mean, we haven't heard from Tim, so he's
Oh, okay.
going to go give him a call.
And he's been ill.
He has been ill. Yeah.
But there's three of us.
There are three. We could proceed. We'd have to make sure that everybody was okay with that. I'll read you the section out of our bylaws about that. All right. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that.
Fine.
So our rules, I have the rules of procedure printed out, so I'd make sure we were clear about this.
Well, nobody on that.
I'm not sure that's correct. I believe we have them here.
Well, our people were.
We tried a bunch of other ones and when this one came, it just stayed. It's really great.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't like Teams from if I'm home using it.
Yeah.
Because it'll put my picture up and you can't see the rest of the people.
There's some settings in there where you can click on and see the whole crew.
At home,
I believe so, yeah.
Left him a message.
I haven't used it for a long time. I come to the meetings.
Well, okay, I'm gonna call us to order. It is, whatever time
7:01.
he has, 7:02. And I'm Mike Dean, I'm the board chair. We are three members tonight, unless Mr. Lenahan arrives a little bit later, we'll be three. And I'm reading from our ZBA Rules of Procedure under the subheading Meetings, point 2, Quorum. A quorum for all meetings of the board shall be 3 members, including alternates sitting in place of members. Under subpoint D says if there are less than 5 members, should be fewer, I know, including alternates present, the chair shall give the option to proceed or not to the applicant. Should the applicant choose to proceed with fewer than 5 members present, that shall not solely constitute grounds for a rehearing should the application fail. So I extend to the Roberts the option of continuing with just we 3 sitting on your hearing. Or waiting, you can postpone it until we have more members. Just be aware that if whatever decision we make, if you accept this, that decision will stand.
Still just a majority of who's voting, or does it have to be unanimous with 3 to?
No, it's just a majority, simple majority.
You sure? I think you have to have 3.
I think.
I think you're right. It does. It would have to be 3. That's right. That's right. So you'd have to win all 3 of us over.
That's right.
I think
So when we
so.
write our decisions, that by a vote of at least 3 members.
Yes, that is correct.
option to appeal the finding or the decision if it doesn't.
The way it's written here is that if you accept this and agree to go ahead with just these 3 members present, the number of board members voting shall not be grounds for appeal. So if it goes against you and you don't like that, you decide to reappeal so that you can have more people sitting, that won't fly.
And we apologize. I absolutely was expecting Tim. We knew Madeline was a likely no. She's got something she's committed to, so she couldn't come. By the way, we could use some ZBA alternates, so we'll move through this. I've been trying to recruit a ZBA alternate now for about 6 months.
It absolutely will not count against you if you decide you want to wait. Are you in a hurry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in a
It
hurry?
holds up whether we build a house or not. So, yeah, this is pretty important. But
So-
then I guess the question I would have is if all 3 say no, but yet if you're needing additional information, are we able to appeal based on that, not the numbers? Are we able to appeal based on the decision for that?
No, if we go to a vote, and so if there's a motion to deny your variance request,
Yeah.
and we go to a vote, and we vote, yes, we're not gonna approve it, it's over.
Here.
Right. However, what we can do is we can open the hearing and we can hear the evidence you've presented and we can discuss it. And if we think we need more information, we can put it off, we can put the vote off until another meeting and come back. Yes, sir.
And I would like to say that whatever they decide here, you absolutely have a rights to appeal.
Yes.
So you can appeal. The way that it works in state law is that you can appeal to them. Basically, it would come back to them within 30 days for them to reconsider. You know, that basically gives, it's the state law, it gives them the chance to sort of clear heads, prevail, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And if they decide, nope, we were happy with our decision, then you also can appeal, you have 30 days from then to appeal it to Superior Court.
Is it just the same 3 members every
30.
time, or does it include everybody?
With the proviso
If they're
that
whoever's available.
Right. So if we're sitting
Yep.
and we decide to put it off to the next hearing, Tim and Madeline show up next time, we would pull them in and they would be voting also.
yeah, but with the proviso that if we have a hearing tonight and
They vote against.
and they vote against, it's not unanimous, that your ground for appeal would not be that the board was less than
Correct.
That's right.
It would have to be something
something
other
other than
substantive,
that.
yes.
We can't make a decision with fewer than 3 votes in favor of the motion that we're deciding. So
Even if everybody's here,
even if everybody's here.
Yeah.
That's never happened.
So do we have the option to do, to discuss it and then determine whether we vote? Or is it, we move forward at this point and we're all in or we're all out?
I think I'd rather you postpone to the next meeting if you think you might want me to postpone a decision.
she just said they're in a hurry.
We're talking about the second Tuesday of next month is when we'd be hearing your case again.
But can we guarantee that somebody else is gonna be here?
I'll do my bloody
We will do our
best.
level best, yeah, and I sincerely apologize. It's a problem that we've been having for a while, that we've got 5 members. So when one of them's out, we're in this situation.
It's hard to
When
get.
2 of them out, so we're in even a worse situation. And so I've been putting it in the newsletter. We've been down to the pavement trying to get more alternative members, as you might imagine.
What, Ed went to Hawaii?
It's out, it's done.
Resigned.
Yep.
Oh,
So, the same would hold for these guys.
That's right.
And we sincerely apologize. If we had our guys here, so we don't meet every month. No, we didn't meet last month.
We can though. We can.
We can, but I'm saying that they had last month off. They should be here today. You know what I mean?
well, is he still sick?
Who?
Tim.
Not that I know of. I saw him last week at the store.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not a matter of taking time off.
Well,
Neither,
the
neither of
last
them. are
meeting, the
frivolous.
last meeting we had 2 months ago, he was in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's right.
From Mr. Bagley's perspective,
Uh-huh.
unless Mr. Lenahan arrives momentarily, we would request that it be pushed to the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do that.
You
What
guys.
do you guys think?
My next question is, what is the process to be appointed as a alternate to the zoning board?
Still, I can explain that, yeah, yeah.
Or
you do.
can't hear
In
your own
fact,
case.
You can't hear your own case.
Trying everything, guys.
But there is a.
You can hear their
a volunteer
Yeah.
form that you fill out, I can get you a copy of that. And it would go to the select board for appointment. The alternates are appointed by select board. These members, the 5 regular members, that's an elected position, they run for an elected position. I believe it's a 3-year term.
Yeah.
And so they are elected at a town meeting in March. Usually at least one is up for re-election or
That's the
an
idea,
open seat.
right.
And sometimes, once in a while, it's 2 because of the 8-5.
It's a good committee to belong to. We do good things and we get along well and,
There's not a lot of homework. Your first year, there's study.
And if we had a alternate, right now, we could put him in as a voting member today.
Yeah,
We had 2 alternates, we could put both of them in right now, so that's our problem.
that's the purpose of the alternates. They attend all the meetings, and if somebody can't show up because they're in the hospital or a planned absence, then the chair promotes them to a voting member.
And a lot of times our alternates are people that were here as applicants, so just FYI.
If you ever want to get involved in town government, it's a really nice way to put your foot in.
and because we don't meet every month.
And it's not a heavy lift. I mean, it's, these guys are once a month if it's busy. And it's more like once every 2 months on average. We
That's
probably
right.
meet 6 times a year on average.
We just schedule every second Tuesday in our calendars forever. And then he cancels if we have no hearings coming up. I know 2 other people I might be able to talk into being alternates
That'd be awesome.
that I'll get a hold of this week.
You know, there's something else to say that might convince you.
That used to be.
Enfield has 5 lakes. And we have all kinds of second homes and things that keep coming up. To try to keep the town functional. So it's important.
Yes, my hesitation is if this is, if it's a no-go, we're out. So that's why it's like with one person that says no, then I don't understand, then it feels like I don't have the other option.
You guys raised an excellent point, all of you. If we can't decide unanimously one way or the other, and we can't make a decision, we have to have 3 votes to make a decision. So this group, these 3 people will have to decide unanimously to deny you or unanimously to approve you.
Okay.
So I don't think you could be right. So 1 person, 2 people aren't going to say you.
So if a consensus is not reached at this meeting, is it then carried over at the next meeting in the hopes that one of the other members can attend? And
Yes.
do we need to attend again at the second meeting to present that information?
You should. It does not look good if you apply and do not attend.
But you don't conduct a special out of cycle and wait to the next one, right? Because they're not here.
That's correct. It is always possible for us to schedule an out of cycle meeting. All it's required for us to do is notify the public, use a special notification process. We have to give it 7 days, is that right? 5 days.
Yeah, you could, as chair, you could say,
You
yeah,
have to.
we could reconvene in 2 weeks for these guys if you want.
You have to
We could-
notify the abutters, don't you?
I would absolutely have courtesy, absolutely, but if those abutters were concerned, they should be here right now to get the notification that it's been continued.
But if
You know, if
they
we
get a
have- If
second
we have a
notification,
continued meeting, we don't have to renotice. But I would out of courtesy, I would do.
yeah,
All right, so, Mr. Burke, I don't think Mr. Lenahan's gonna be arriving, so
Right.
let's formally push your meeting to the next, or your hearing to the next meeting, and you guys can,
We're just waiting for you to find it, so 2 weeks.
okay.
All right. We'll see you.
All right.
Sometime.
Did you guys sign it on the sheet? Thank you so much.
Before you leave. Let's start your hearing. We'll know pretty quickly whether or not we're gonna need to continue it.
Okay.
If we need to continue it, we'll go a month out. That'll give us time to find alternates to make sure that these people are gonna be here.
Okay.
But I think your case is not contentious. The way I read it, it looks pretty clear cut.
Okay.
So we're looking at a month. And trust, Mr. Taylor, not me. Okay, things may change. Your official notice will come from him, okay? Mr. Burke, I'm sorry you had to drive so
Oh, that's
far.
quite all right.
Please accept our apology
Things
from the
happen.
board.
Yeah, we will look forward to meeting with you later.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Over their departure date, you guys mind if I come up to the table?
You can both come up.
Mr. Burke came from White River,
Oh. Oh, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I'm feeling lost.
but we owe him an apology for not being ready to hear his case.
Yeah,
So
I
I
thought it
made,
was nicely done. I wish they would put their number on their house. I went down there to, I always go and look. I don't talk to anybody, but I always go and look. And I
Oh.
couldn't find it until I got the pictures.
are you talking about the Bagleys or?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I don't want to confess how long it took me to notice which one this was. I was looking on the wrong side of the street.
What were you looking for? This one? You were looking for this one?
Yeah, I looked and I looked and I looked and I couldn't find 804 and I looked and then finally I got the map and I said, oh,
You're not the only one. The post office messes it too, so.
yeah.
So,
It never occurred to me that even numbers are on that side of the street.
Can I ask you to hold your comments for just a minute?
Yep.
So we can get this hearing started officially.
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Before you start, I'm gonna ask you to present in just a minute.
sure.
And all you really have to do is read out your application if you want. Wendy, would you make a special note that we are deferring the Bagley hearing until next meeting? Because they would rather be heard by a full board.
Yes.
All that discussion probably doesn't have to be in the record. It's on the recording. Right, but we need that. The chair decided that's sufficient. Okay, so we're gonna hear from you two, and normally I have Mr. Taylor read out the notice as a way of introducing the case, but he's not here at the moment, so, and I've lost my paperwork, so hang on just a second. Here it is.
You had somebody. With their last name.
Looks like Emma and Kevin. Where is the agenda for today?
Here, you need a copy of the agenda?
No, I found it. Okay. Land use case Z 230901, Cameron and Sarah Roberts are seeking variance relief from the Enfield zoning ordinance, Article 4, Section 401.2, Paragraph K, to subdivide a lot to less than 3 acres. The subject parcel is currently 11.66 acres and is located at 804 Shaker Hill Road, tax map 8, lot 1 in the R3 residential zoning district. The subject parcel is owned by Cameron and Sarah Roberts. Mr. and Mrs. Roberts, would you care to make your presentation?
Sure.
You gave us
Gave you a packet. Do you happen to
we have it.
have another copy of the map that I can? Yes, ma'am. If I could get that.
Actually, there are copies in those folders.
Yeah, you can take Madeline's there.
Okay, that's what I was needing. I looked all over the house today trying to find my piece of that.
Why does it say Stephen K. Fulton on the map? Is that a previous owner?
Yes.
Okay.
It's probably sufficient to have you read your application introduction there. to
All right.
start with.
So first off, thank you for taking the time this evening here to listen to us. My name is Cameron Roberts. This is my wife, Sarah. We own the property at 804 Shaker Hill Road. And we've owned that for probably 18 months now.
You buy it from Steve Fulton?
We bought that from John. I cannot remember John's last name.
Started with a B.
Yeah.
It was hard to pronounce.
So we're seeking a variance from Article 4, Section 401.2K R3 District to subdivide 11.66 acres located at 804 Shaker Hill Road, Enfield, New Hampshire. If approved, the resulting two lots would consist of the first lot encompassing 10.47 acres containing approximately 5.5 acres of open field and approximately 5 acres of mature woods. Additionally, a separate lot encompassing 1.19 acres with an 1880s farmhouse and approximately half acres of mature woods would be established. Existing stone walls and a mature tree line currently serve as established boundaries between these two proposed parcels of property. A variance was previously approved by the Enfield Zoning Board, case number Z15-05-02 on May 12th, 2015, to divide this property into the lot sizes stated above. However, owners current to us combine these parcels back into a single property. We would like to reinstate and or obtain approval of a new variance and formally establish two separate parcels as currently recorded on tax map 8 as lot 1 and lot 1-1.
Okay, so that we can open the discussion. This may seem a little strange to you guys, but so that we can open the discussion, we need a
Okay.
motion to approve or deny. Then we will open the discussion.
I move that we approve the application. And should I say that something about, that this is a new variance and we're reinstating the old variance, or leave
We
that
can't
out?
reinstate.
We can't,
Yeah.
okay. I move that we accept the application.
Do we have a
Grant the
second?
application.
Yeah, but I had a question.
Oh, yeah, you
I
definitely
have
get questions.
too,
We
but
don't go
I've
right
gotta
to
Put
vote.
it on the table.
Okay, I'll second.
All right. So we have a motion that we can discuss. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Once
right.
I found it, do you live in the existing house
We do.
and
Yes,
you wanna build another house
we do.
to live in?
Yes.
What are you gonna do with the existing house?
We are going to sell that property to somebody who needs a home here in Enfield.
And they would get the whole thing.
The house and the 1.19 acres, yes.
1.9 acres
1.19, 1.2.
Wait a minute.
and you'll be, and
All this will go to this.
you're gonna build
buyer.
your,
The area highlighted in pink
yeah,
contains the existing house.
Right.
So we would build a new home in the area highlighted in yellow and then sell the residence that is in pink.
You're gonna live in the pink until you build a house in the yellow.
So the
Correct.
pink is 1.1 acres.
Yes, ma'am.
They're gonna live in the pink until they build their house in the yellow. Then they're gonna move to the yellow and sell the pink.
Exactly.
Okay,
The colors are helpful.
Yeah.
it makes more sense to me now, cause I couldn't figure out, you said you wanted to build a house, but you
Yeah.
didn't say where you're building the house.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I should have.
Well, and then I'm looking at if you drive by there's that existing house back there that used to be some kind of a produce farm.
That was Steve's house.
That's the
He
next
lived
one.
upstairs.
Hmm?
That's the
It's
next
not
one.
part of this at all, it's
Correct.
somebody else's house.
Yep.
And
Wasn't
somebody
that the
lives
moving
there.
Finger?
Hmm?
Wasn't that, what's the
That
name?
was
Yes,
on something
The moving finger or the working finger or I've heard it referred to as the blue ox.
The
Charlotte.
black's what it was.
Yep.
And they even had a store for a while.
Yep.
I'm still confused. Was that Charlotte Bercy's house?
I think Steve Fulton built the house. It's a new house.
Yeah,
This is not the house they're talking about. It's
I-
the next one down.
I believe the house you're talking about was Charlotte's home. That's the one we currently live in.
That's the old
Okay.
farmhouse.
I've heard the name Charlotte.
Okay,
that's the
so,
pink.
right, so
That's it.
that really never had its own lot, right?
Back in 2015, it was surveyed off into its own lot, which is the highlighted pink portion there.
Okay,
Then Steve bought all that,
Yep, right,
brought it all together,
okay.
probably sold it to this John fellow when he left town.
Yes.
John, or no, somebody.
Bakaleva or,
Makes more
People,
sense to
but the,
do that.
the Scandinavian.
okay, and so it,
Keep it, have its own lot that has,
I think so, and it looks
Yeah.
like the delineation makes perfect sense.
yeah,
it's already delineated with existing rock walls.
Yeah.
Which, lay out the property line, and then it's got a wooded line that goes up and, ties into what would be, I'm gonna refer to it as the northeast side of Shaker Hill there.
All right,
Well, I was reading all this stuff. And now I see a line on this big map that says there's 100-year flood line. Is that the Knox River?
Yes,
And
Knox
then
is over
there was something about you couldn't build somewhere because there was a sand pit and there went off.
can I step over there and I'll,
Would you please?
yes, ma'am.
I would be so happy to get this explained to me
So I'm-
when I finally figured out where it was.
All right.
Okay,
So what I refer to is an upper field and a lower field. So this is the upper field here. This is the existing
yeah, I
farmhouse.
got that part.
There's an upper field, and this is what I refer to as a lower field, and all this is mature hardwoods.
I
Do
decided
they
to consider
hay
it
this?
now.
This is currently just,
And if we
it's not
can't-
hayed. I'm mowing it. I've got some food plots established down here for the wildlife in the lower section. Along these, what they're referring to as woods, there's a line that runs out. This is all excavated sand pit at one time. So the elevation difference between here and here is roughly 40 feet. And that line runs out to here.
Oh, so you got a hole here.
Well, it's flat now.
It's flat now.
They excavated all that. And it comes to here and hits a steep bank that goes straight up.
And there's grass on the bank.
There's grass and trees, and it's, some of it is just too steep to really grow anything on.
So you're thinking about here,
I would put a house up here.
and you'll have to get a driveway cut.
There's an existing driveway that comes in off of Shaker already.
Yeah, I
up here.
saw that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So if I had to take in the 3 acres, it would move this property line back here and run down here. At which point I can't access this lower field because it's too steep to take any machinery down without going out on Shaker Hill, coming across, and then establishing an easement to cut across here
I see.
to get in that lower field.
Thank you. Now I understand.
Excellent. My reasoning flows from the original, well, from the 2015 variance grant. If that board met and saw fit to grant a variance at that time, and the circumstances haven't changed significantly, and you're not asking for a different variance, to me, it feels incumbent upon this board to rule the same way. So do you know if you're asking for the same variance?
I'm asking for the exact same variance, yes.
Okay. So once we find those meeting records and go back, we're gonna find that it traces the stone wall, you know, and I'm not a stickler for a couple of feet here and there. but
Yeah,
You're asking for basically the same thing.
exact same thing that was established previously.
Is the survey markers are still there?
We got somebody on Teams. that-
yes, I do remember it, yeah.
We do. So when we go to public comment, I'll make sure they have it. You remind me of that.
Yeah,
Thank you. So when we grant a variance, we have 5 criteria we're legally bound to consider. And we like to enumerate them in our meeting minutes to say that, just to let the appellate court know that we have considered them. Is everybody ready to go through those? Be all right. So I'll name each of the criteria and you let me know if you think there's a strong evidence that they have not satisfied these criteria. The basic law is you have to provide evidence that you meet each of these criteria.
Okay.
And if you don't, then we have to deny your variance. So what we're looking for here is if you have a strong if you feel there's strong evidence to deny them this variance under one of those criteria, we need to hear that. And I have to find the criteria again. Oh, it's gonna be in the.
It's on
The application.
this page.
Thank you. Variance will not be contrary to the public interest. Does anybody think this variance would be contrary to the public interest?
Nope.
I don't think so.
I also think not. The spirit of the ordinances will be observed.
Yes.
So generally speaking, the spirit of the town of Enfield's ordinance is to promote harmonious development of the land and protect the natural resources. I
Yep.
don't think I don't think this variance would change that at all.
No,
No, I think that's fine.
but it exists in the way it is.
Spirit is observed.
Yeah, I agree. Substantial justice is done. So if we grant this, will substantial justice be done? And
Yes.
Yes.
I think so too, especially when we consider the previous board's ruling. It would be hard to justify denying the same variance request. The proposed use would not diminish the surrounding property values. Would this diminish the surrounding property values? Anybody
No.
think?
No, it would increase them.
I think it probably
Supposed to
would.
be another house.
Yeah. Literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. So, to me, what this means is that if we enforce the letter of the zoning law in this case, it causes you problems that we don't, but doesn't advance the purpose of the ordinance. That's a very simplistic way of saying it. And I can't see here any provision of the ordinance that would be advanced by denying you this variance request.
Right,
Do you guys agree?
yeah.
Yep.
All right. So that's a pretty quick open and shut case, I think.
The abutters.
Right, so at this point, we should make sure, we should ask the public for comment. Emma and Kevin on the phone, your mic is presently muted. Would you please unmute it and let
Yep,
us
no
know if
problem.
you have?
No, everything sounds good.
Who are they?
Am I-
The names of the people that are public.
Can you give us your last name so we can record it as attending?
Belinda, Malenda.
You got that? All right. And what's your address? Are you town
17
of
Crystal
Enfield?
Lake Road,
Okay, great.
where the house
Whitney.
hidden on the hill.
I almost bought that house many, many years ago. You got that, Whitney? Okay, so some findings of fact that we probably need to record. Primary for me is that there was a variance granted in zoning case Z 015-05-02. I think, Whitney, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, 0.02, yeah.
Stunning. I got a CPAP machine recently and my mind has improved dramatically. I can remember things.
Miracles.
It's a miracle. A second finding of fact I'd like noted is that the smaller property seems to be naturally delineated by the stone wall and the features of the land. It looks like a natural lot separation.
Well, on the corner of the road too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't think we have any other facts to enter into evidence that aren't present in the application itself. Do you see it?
I think it's just a natural,
Lot.
natural extension of the total property to have that separated.
Yeah, I think so too.
I,
Susan?
I think it's a good thing to do.
Okay.
Because he wants to grow produce and sell it, and it's on a corner so that lot has road on, the new lot has road on two corners, and he can get he can get to his field. If we denied it, he couldn't get to his field.
Yeah,
It seems like a nice family residence,
I
and to
have,
have them put it on the market for another family to live in.
I have one additional for you.
Sure, Rob.
I just looked at the zoning map and it's very much proximate to the R1.
Thank you for looking. I was gonna ask you that. Okay, so a third finding of fact should be that it's very close to the R1 zoning district, in which there's a 1 acre requirement for.
And there are lots of houses across the street on Alfano Road and that Colonial down the street.
So that's a fourth fact, is we could say it is, that house is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. That lot size is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood.
Yes.
You may be wondering why we're doing this. So if somebody comes back and says, we don't like this, we want to appeal it. We've covered the legal requirements that we have, so that the judge will read it and say, they did it right. Sorry, the decision stands.
How the sausage is made.
Sausage. Both of us work for the federal government, so we're very well aware of how important it is to dot your i's and cross your t's.
Okay.
And
So
so
the-
the T's across your eyes.
Exactly.
So discussion having concluded and having heard from the public, having read the findings of fact into the minutes, I'd like to ask if there's any further discussion.
Anything else you want to say?
Do you have anything further you want to say? All right, I'll remind you of the question. Go
I just
ahead.
want to know, if it passes, when would construction start? If you have
Tomorrow?
any time frame.
So you still need to come to planning,
Yeah.
Yeah,
because the subdivision actually it happens at planning.
okay,
So
so
you'll still need to go through that, which will take a few weeks.
I would love to tell you that construction would start before the snow flew this winter, but realistically speaking, probably next spring, after things melt.
Right, that's cool. Just curious, that's all.
Not, I think they are, but not quite.
Across the road.
They said 17 Crystal Lake Road, so it's gonna be like catty
On the
corner.
other corner.
Okay, so the question before you is, or the motion before you is to,
Approve the variance requested by Cameron and Sarah Roberts.
Yep.
Is that all I have to say?
that's all we have to say.
I'll second if that's the motion.
No, that was just me restating the motion.
Oh, okay. So what?
You're right.
There's a motion.
All in favor? Go ahead.
All in favor?
Sometimes motions get amended and changed a lot as you go, so the formal process is at the end of the discussion, before you call the vote, you restate the motion as
Okay.
it exists, so people know what we're voting on.
Okay.
But in this case, there's really no change to the motion. All right, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Crickets. All right, so by an affirmative vote of 3-0, the zoning board grants your application for variance.
Thank you.
Live long and prosper.
All right.
Go forth.
Thanks for your patience.
It's okay, thank you.
You got a surveyor?
I've got a list of them sitting on my desk at the
I
house.
gave you that.
Yes, you
Yeah, yeah.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we are,
I'm talking to you, if you need any help with that.
I'm,
Planning board now?
Yeah.
yeah.
We just give them permission to break the law.
So I think,
We give you permission to break the law, now you have to
Thank
do
you.
the planning and.
yeah, we're revved up and ready to go. We've got-
Rob, this is in those minutes. Rob, on your list of surveyors is Harry Burgess, Pioneer Land Surveying.
I don't think so, but is he up in Hedgerow? Where is
He
he?
is in Bath,
That.
but he did my surveying
Send
and
me
he
his contact. I will add him, because we are desperate for the.
Pioneer Land Surveying and it's Harry Burgess,
You
Burgess.
have contacts. Send me all of his contacts.
You want me to send it to
Send it
you?
to him, have other business to do.
Yes, I will.
Send email.
All right.
Fantastic.
You got
Robert,
us for anything
Good,
else?
thank you very much.
Build a nice house, live happily ever after.
All right, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're
You
welcome.
guys have a good evening.
You too.
You too.
I'm gonna leave this back party. That back.
All right, we have 2 sets of minutes to,
No, just one,
no,
July 11th.
we have July 11th. We also have the minutes from the previous meeting.
Right.
Put them
Thank
on.
you. Have a good evening.
Take care.
All I have is two sets of July 11th minutes.
Yeah, I'm confused about that myself.
So I have a final version of June minutes. It looks like I still have a draft version of, May minutes.
May minutes?
It's possible that I did it incorrectly, so let me take a look.
I have June minutes here, and I was not at that meeting.
What was our last meeting?
July
July.
11th.
Okay. Let's see if we did minutes in that meeting.
The July 11th
Approved,
meetings,
yeah.
I've got a set, and they were sent to us, Rob sent them.
We
And then
moved
there
to
was a
approve the
set
June
on the
13th
desk here.
minutes at the July meeting.
All right, so if you look in the June 13th minutes, did we approve the May minutes?
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Okay,
I don't know.
So many minutes.
We'll just- we will do just the July minutes, since that's what we have in front of us. And if we have to do the May minutes later, we'll put them on an agenda.
The
think
May
we
minutes
did
at the
May,
June
didn't
meeting, we
we?
did postpone them, so the May 9th minutes have not been approved.
Okay, so put a minutes note that the chair says we will do the May minutes at our next meeting.
Okay,
Can I have a motion to approve the minutes as written?
yes, but there are two
I'll
tiny
second.
little corrections.
That's what we'll do in the discussion. All right, so we have a second. Any discussion,
Yes,
corrections?
line 110. You said Route 4 with a capital R every place but there,
That should be capitalized,
and
yes.
that should be capitalized.
Got it?
And line 113. Ms. Johnson moved to amend the previous motion with the condition that the owner erect. There's no S on that because it's subjunctive.
I love it that you can tell us why.
Sorry.
I do. I couldn't tell you in a million years, but I know it's right.
That's all I found.
Okay, I like that you are doing exactly what we asked about putting the motions
You
in
want to know
bold.
why it's subjunctive? Because it's
Not yet.
conditional.
I don't understand subjunctive anyway. Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes with those changes?
I,
Aye. So that's 3-0. Any new business?
you were going over the rules of procedure. You aren't telling us we gotta do something about that, are you?
Nope, I was referring to them.
Okay.
I was making sure that I was doing the right
Yeah, and
thing.
the agenda for the next meeting will also include the May minutes. I
Yes,
wasn't at that meeting.
that's okay.
Can I go over them anyway?
Absolutely. That is the way it works.
Do I have them?
You can be sent. them.
Yeah, I do. I have them.
Do you have the May minutes?
Yeah, I have the May minutes. There they are. May 9th, two
You wanna
thousand
go through them? They're not
twenty-three,
long.
and I was not there.
That's okay. You go through them and,
Oh, well,
I mean, we could do them now.
you want, sure, we could, you wanna? Get it out of the way?
What, to do what, the May?
You have the May minutes on you?
I don't know, I don't think so, I got them, no, I don't, cause I just.
It's the June meeting I missed.
Why don't we just pass around her copy and look at them real quick, see if there's anything. in it.
Well, on line 30, okay should be capitalized. I haven't marked it. We can look on, see that, that should be capitalized.
Line 30, okay, should be capitalized, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass these over to
I
you.
think I have, that's all.
Yeah. Subject parcels, R1. Chair Dean elevated Mr. McLaughlin as a full board member. Chair Dean invited Mr. and Mrs. Goodness to present their case here with the shed, the location that there's no spot to put the shed. They're planning to get a pre-built shed.
I remember that one.
I don't see anything, I'm down the line 74. Line 76, I should put in, do you believe the terrain would impact runoff?
Do you use the
And the equipment
recording?
needed for the footings are greatly disturbed the river. Oh, Holly West was here, wasn't she?
Mhm.
Who said,
Oh, that's the one with the,
nothing on
They-
page 2.
right?
Right.
I got something.
Ended up withdrawing.
I got something. Page 3.
Here.
I don't need it. I've marked it.
Yeah.
Line 96, I think barn should be barn. And that's all there is on page 3. On page 4, under finding of fact, the proposed location of the shed is a high point in the land. And on line 144, number 8, I'm not sure what to do. This property is not unique. It says in its characteristics of the immediate neighborhood is not unique to the characteristics of the immediate neighborhood, I think is better English. What do you think, Celie?
I think that's good.
Yeah. Is not unique to the characteristics of the immediate neighborhood, because after unique, something's gotta be unique to something. That's all I got on page 4. On page 5, I think that in line 198, we meant climate scientists at the engineering school instead of client,
Yes.
climate scientists,
That's a really good catch.
yeah. And that's all I got.
All right, I have one.
What'd you find?
Tim Lenahan's absence was excused, and we need to append that to line 18. Actually, probably that should go in between those two sentences, so you'd rewrite 17, 18, and
I did hear back
In
from
the
Tim.
minutes.
Yes.
you follow me?
So
What are we gonna do about the June
just make a
minutes?
sentence in between this.
I didn't do because all I
Right. You can say-
Okay,
Chair Dean excused Tim Lenahan's absence.
got it.
Should only need to do 2, right?
Well,
Minutes.
Choose not to
did
do.
we did
It's
July.
May 9th. At the June meeting, they moved the May 9th minutes forward, but then we didn't actually look at them in July.
Would you like me to print those out, Jill?
We
We're
did it. We just did it.
Oh, okay,
We're good.
We're brilliant and fast.
love it. And the whole business about, I don't know if you guys subscribe, but I absolutely, I wasn't here, so I don't approve those minutes or I abstain. You don't have to do that. You can absolutely express your confidence
Absolutely.
in the meeting minutes.
Well, that's fine.
People got confused about that at some point, and you're
What
not,
about the
you're not
June
verifying
minutes?
that
Did
the
they get
minutes are,
approved in July?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so I don't have to do those.
Nope.
The board is obligated to vote on all motions. All board members are obligated to vote on all motions. Unless they are recusing themselves for some matter of
Right.
conflict. So abstaining from voting for minutes is, I mean, you don't do that. I'm not gonna argue
Yeah.
with people
Yeah.
on other
Exactly.
boards.
Yep.
But on this board, as the chair,
Well,
I
I
will
can
tell you,
read the minutes to proofread them, but I
That's-
can't change the content.
Correct.
that's correct.
Do you guys
Well,
wanna
that's fine.
make a motion to approve the?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
I'm reading the content.
Great.
My 13-year-old, almost 14-year-old granddaughter
You
made
wanna go through
the
the-
Perth Inferno, the semi-professional women's ice hockey team.
Wow.
That's cool.
And for her birthday, she will be in Melbourne trying out for the Junior Olympics in Korea.
Oh my God.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
She's 13, she'll be 14 on the 25th. She'll be her 14th birthday in
Can you-
Melbourne. She can't
do you still
play
have
with
access to the
Inferno until
recording from
she's
the Navy?
16.
Yeah.
But she trains
At
with
one
them.
seventy-four and
And my son
175,
is
probably
complaining
upward.
about having to get up at 4:30 in the morning,
Recess.
3 days a
Called it
week to
10-minute
take her to
recess.
the rink.
They called the
before
hearing back.
school.
You should find the time.
We can do that.
Great.
Tim has a sick kid.
Oh,
That's fine. We'll call that
Did you
excuse.
know
You
that
need to put
Tim's
that in
father
tonight's
is
notes also.
96
You
years
have to call
old?
the
I
order.
did not know that.
I've served on a committee with him.
Pardon me?
I've served on a committee with him.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He's got all of his marbles plus.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Yeah.
Doug Smith, yeah.
Hey, I loved your dad's talk. He was good. At the museum, he was really good.
Do you want to go through these?
I wish there'd been twice as many people.
Okay, question before you is, shall we approve the minutes of the May 9th meeting of the ZBA as amended by Ms. Brown and Mr. Dean?
So move.
All in
Second,
favor?
Aye.
Aye,
aye,
approved.
give him back, so I can put him back on my binder, because then I look official.
Gigi, you got anything else for the agenda for next month?
I think I do.
But we got Bagley in September, right?
I believe we'll be back next month. Yes.
It will definitely be here in September,
You know what, Rob?
at least for
I
Bagley.
said it before, it seems to me,
Yes, she's good.
I went down on
Okay.
Meadow Lane, and there are gazillions of houses down there, and the number is not on his house. And I didn't get it until I got the pictures to figure out which was his house. People should have their numbers on their
Yes.
house.
Yes. I think I hear a Valley News letter to the editor. Because that is actually a problem region-wide.
Oh,
It's
is
for-
it?
That's supposed to be on there, at least 3 inches high for first responder.
Mhm.
You imagine being a fire department or a police department going to a house without a number on it? What do you do?
Well, it should have a number on it. I didn't get out and walk around, but there should be a number on it. And I don't know if it's all right to get out and walk around, but it was,
I'm gonna close this out
yeah. That's Tuesday.
without hearing
The
any,
motion, oh,
no objections, any objections?
No, no objections
We're
at
adjourned.
all.
7:50, wow.
Let's
Thank
go
you,
home.
guys.
That's the main one.
That may be a record.
so good, right?
Maybe a record.
Are you guys aware? I stopped the recording, I guess.
Are we aware of what? I'm not aware of much.
Are you gonna be, wait,